Right. So literally, we're just gonna get into it. I've got no questions, got written nothing down, because I feel like I know you. So I'm just gonna ask a couple of questions and go for it.
Yeah,
So
well, you kind of know me already, Mikey. I mean, we're pretty much related, really, if you think about it.
that's it. That's it. You're my dad, really, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh, come on now. Whoa, whoa. Let's
All right.
put you that far, buddy.
So Todd Dewey is with us.
Hi, Mikey. I'm doing wonderful, buddy. How are you today?
Oh, do you know what? I am super stoked, ready for when Truckfest happens. It's going to be an amazing year this year. I mean, we've been doing it for 40 years now. I mean, obviously, you can tell by the age of us that we've not been doing it for 40 years. We met around about 6 or 7 years ago when you came over for Truckfest for the first time. What was it like when you first came over?
Oh, man, Mikey. Well, let's just back up a little tiny bit. I think 6 or 7 years. I think we're pushing a little bit more than that because if you go back to me and your first picture of our first Truck Fest that we did, I don't think me or you had any gray hair at that time. So I think it's been quite a few years, but from my first, so you want to know from my first time to what it's like till now?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, the first time, of course, it was more of me and Lisa Kelly from ISO Truckers came over as fans just to meet all the guests, do autographs, signatures, meet everybody. So I was a little nervous, a little nervous on how it all rolls and how it all goes. But after the years have rolled on, Truckfest has grown on me significantly. So it's gosh, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like a big family, Mikey. I mean, I consider you family from all the years we have done shows and hosted Truckfest. I mean, and everybody that works with the Truckfest, and it grew into something more than me than I think it does for a lot of other celebrities that have joined Truckfest, because they just come over as guests and they're there and they meet people, and then people get sick and tired of seeing the same person, which is granted. They want to see somebody new, they want to meet somebody new. But for me, it grew into an opportunity of actually becoming a host with Truckfest, commentating in the main arena. And it's not about being a celebrity anymore, about being on TV. For me, this is like family to me. I love coming to Truckfest. It has become a massive part of my heart. The show has just gotten bigger and greater and more magnificent every single year. I meet more awesome people, create relationships that are going to be a lifetime, hence Mikey Faulkner, for example.
Brilliant.
Stuff. I mean, I love Truckfest. It's part of me. It's part of my family. And I just love coming over there, buddy.
All right, we'll come back to Truckfest in just a moment. I'm going to find out a little bit about yourself. I mean, we know you as Todd, the Ice Road Trucker. You've been doing that for a little while. How did that all start? How did you become an Ice Road Trucker? I mean, you weren't always doing that, were you?
No, no. Well, I have been a trucker all my life. It extends back from my dad as a trucker. He owned his own trucks. Of course, when I was very young, I started driving trucks with my dad. By the time I was 18, I already had, I don't know, I can't always remember you guys call yours, but we call ours a CDL, Class A driver's license, to drive a commercial vehicle on the roads. Time I was 18, I was already done getting my test, driving one of my dad's trucks, and it just progressed on from there. My dad did have his own log trucks, and he passed away at a very, very early age. The family kind of went a different direction at that time, and we actually, now my other side of the family, which is Rygards, which I'll get into that in a second, they started a logging company, and that logging company started to grow a little bit, and then it was, oh my gosh, I want to say 2007 or 8, long time ago, a TV show here called American's Toughest Jobs, and it was going to be aired on one of our major air things, came in out of the blue, hit us up on our new logging company that we had, and said, we're doing this show about American's Toughest Jobs. And it had to do with, like, for example, deadliest catch of fishing boats, logging, a variety of different jobs, trucking, stuff like that. And they took these contestants and they wanted to have them each try one of these hard jobs. Well, out of all these jobs, so they came over, they filmed us doing our normal show logging. They took the one contestant and they wanted them to, fall a tree, get in the yarder, hook up the line to the yarder, yard the tree up the hill. This is a long process teaching somebody how to do this that's never been in logging before. So you can imagine how scared they were. Anyways, basically it came down to, at the end of the show, when they filmed these contests, tests, it was for a big lump of money and a new Dodge Ram pickup. is what the contestant was going to win. And I believe it was a good chunk of money, like $400,000 for the guy in August. Anyhow, when it came down to the end of it, logging, when they got to the end of the show, they wanted to know what was the hardest job out of all of it. And of course, every one of the contestants said, hands down, logging is the most dangerous, craziest thing. We don't ever want to do it again. We don't ever want to be around it. It is way too dangerous. Nobody should be allowed to log. So anyway, from that show, when it aired on TV, a guy by the name of Mr. Beers that writes all these reality TV shows, seen this air on TV, and he's like, I think we got a show out of logging. So then he called the next year and said, hey, we want to start a new reality show on logging. And that show became a major hit show on the History Channel, and it was called The Axeman. So we started filming The Axeman. So throughout the years of filming Axeman, we were doing, I had parts on it here and there, driving the truck and the low bed and the oversized equipment. One day I showed up to the landing, and it was a Friday afternoon. Nobody was around. One of my trucks had got into a log truck wreck. Had to get into town before the insurance company closed because I needed to go in there in person and talk with them here in town. Well, normal truck driver, since I was going by the landing and I was coming into town anyway, I'm going to stop and grab a load of logs because that's another load of logs and another haul and another paycheck. So I'm like, okay, I got time. I can make it. I was looking at my watch. I can get loaded really quick, get off the landing. I can still get to town, dump the load, and still get to this meeting. Well, I show up to the landing. Nobody's around. I mean, they're the big excavators sitting there hanging with the grapples. Nobody. I was just like, where? I know I was getting panicky. I was getting frustrated. I was really in an upset mood. So I turned my truck around. I backed up to the shovel. I jumped in the shovel, literally grabbed the trailer off the back of my log truck, swung it off to my truck so I could set the trailer down so that I could get back in my truck to pull the truck forward so I could put the trailer back on to hook it up. Well, when I set the trailer down with the excavator or the log shovel on the side of the road, there was no road there. It was a cliff. So my trailer goes down in the bushes, goes down the freaking hill. So you can imagine my panic at this time. I'm really frustrated. Well, back in the day when we started our logging company, things were tough, things were tight. We didn't have the best equipment that was out there. It wasn't top of the line, brand new equipment, right? I mean, we're talking what you would call this day and age kind of a Jippo outfit, to be honest with you. It was pretty rough run equipment. So I'm trying to look out the window of this excavator or big log shovel so I could see my trailer. Well, the whole window's cracked and shattered, and it looks like a spider web. You can't see out it. So I absolutely lose my mind. I kick the window completely out of the front of the machine because I can't see out over the cliff to get a good view on my trailer so I can try to grab it. Well, this whole time this was happening, one of the producers that was filming Axeman at this time see me throwing this fit. And this guy is just like, who does this guy think he is? What is he doing? This guy is out of his freaking mind type situation. So anyway, he asked Gabe if he could get an interview with me. Gabe's like, hey, if you want to go talk to that guy right now, you go ahead. That's on you. You go talk to him. So basically, the guy jumped in my truck with me. He was ready to go. I was in a pretty foul mood. Long story short, he did ask me, he wanted to do an interview while we were driving. I wasn't in a very good mood. Had a lot of things in my mind, obviously. And when I got home, the wife asked me how this interview went. And I'm cutting out parts and pieces because it's actually a really long story. And I told her, well, the interview didn't go so well. I ended up knocking the camera out of the guy's hand while I was driving down the road. Almost wrecked my own truck because I was swerving down the highway loaded. Didn't end well. So anyway, 6 months later, History Channel calls me up and says, hey, how would you like to try your hand on the ice roads? And I was like, well, I don't know. I'd give her a try if you guys want me to go up there and try. And I was like, well, how did you guys pick? Well, that interview you had in the truck was absolutely the most amazing, emotional interview we'd ever seen. And it was never aired on TV. This is all personal in the truck. And anyway, so they called me. I didn't think they were going to call me, but they called me at the last second. And they said, you're the guy. Pack your bags. You're leaving. You're going to start the new season of Ice Road Truckers. And I believe that was season 7, I think it was. And so off to Canada, I went to go filming. And the second I got up there, they pulled me in the production office and they said, listen, no matter what happens, you can't hit a camera guy up here. You can't break cameras. So anyway, that was how I got on the show, by a great interview, and that turned in for also doing the Axeman show as well as doing the Ice Road Trucker show, which led into year after year after year, and it just progressed and got bigger and more exciting. And then that's also ultimately what led me to Truckfest, because I'm a huge truck enthusiast. I love trucks, anything to do about trucks. I love your guys' trucks. I love our trucks. So it's just turned into a massive, just crazy adventure.
Had you watched Ice Road Truckers before you were actually on the show?
Yeah, that was a whole new thing, Mikey. Never watched it. Never even paid attention to it. And to be honest with you, because I live way up in the mountains. I'm pretty far out of town, way up in the hills, and we didn't get really good cable at that time in the first place. So never really watched TV to begin with, to be honest with you, Mikey. Next thing you know, I'm just this redneck guy that lives in the mountains. All of a sudden I'm on TV, and it was a pretty crazy thing. So then we worked at trying to get a satellite dish and trying to get cable, because I think I even missed the first season before we actually got cable up here where we could actually sit down at the house and be like, oh my gosh, look at me on TV. I look so dumb. This is ridiculous.
Has Ice Road Truckers returned for a new season this year? Because we did have a little bit of a break, didn't we?
Oh, we have had a break, and a lot of people have been asking questions and want to know what's going on, and even myself, I can't get straight answers out of them. The show has definitely not been canceled. Now, the Axman show, when shows get canceled, they actually will call you and personally tell you, hey, the show has been completely canceled. It's not coming back. Thank you for all the great memories and seasons and blah, blah, blah. They have not done that with Ice Road Truckers. Now, in 2020, when this stupid pandemic hit and this COVID went absolutely nuts all over the place, and they shut everything down, we were flat set. Things were signed. They've had a new cast member. We were on our way to Canada to film season 12 of Ice Road Truckers, and because of the COVID, they shut it down. They were worried that it was going to get shut down completely. They were going to start production, which costs a lot of money to get things started, and then they were going to lose out on all that because everything gets shut down. We weren't allowed to film, so they shut it down, and they haven't brought it back since. I've had phone call after year that, hey, we're getting things in order. Are you still available to do the show this year? Are you, make sure you clear the schedule so we can film? Absolutely, let me know. And then November, December, January comes around, no phone calls, and they call and say, we just weren't able to get things together. Maybe next year we'll get it rolling. So, Mikey, honestly, I don't know when it's going to come back, but eventually there is going to be a closing season. I can tell you that.
Well, let's hope it's soon. What happens to all the stuff, though? Because, surely when the cameras aren't rolling, that stuff still needs to get out to those remote places. Do they still do the trips?
Absolutely, Mikey. Just because it isn't being filmed doesn't mean all those communities and all those people and all those reserves up there aren't still getting their supplies delivered to them every year. The ice roads still run every year. Sometimes they're long seasons. Sometimes they're short seasons. I have been asked several times up there by other ice road trucking companies, besides what was on the TV show, to come to work and haul, because I do know all the ice roads up there and from all the years of traveling, and how to get there, and obviously how to drive on the ice and drive in the snow. And they do like guys that are veterans like that can get the job done, and they know they can get their supplies there in a pretty timely manner and be safe about doing it. But I've done it twice. I did it 2 years without the filming, to go up and help and make an extra paycheck. The last couple of years have been super, super busy. So no filming, no going up and just working. So I've just been home. Things have been really hectic and busy here as well, trying to keep things going at home. So, but they still roll. It's an everyday, people can look it up. If you look up in Canada and Alaska, they're still trucking. I know that Lisa, I see me and Lisa still chat, messages and say hi and call once in a while. She's still up trucking in Alaska, still doing the same Dalton Highway where she lives at, and she finally got her own truck, and she's. Do
you ever talk to anyone else that was a driver on Ice Road Truckers? Are you still in contact with anyone?
Once in a while, Reno once in a while. Of course, one of my good friends I had up there was Daryl, who passed away 5 years ago at the same time my cousin Gabe did from the accident, when they both died, which is so crazy, 3 weeks apart in the same year. He was one of the main guys that we always talked to, because he was a logger like myself. He grew up logging. He drove log trucks, owned his own log trucks like myself. So I really do miss, but I did become really good friends with his son, Reno, and I still chat with him. Now, Reno's really, really stepped up since his dad, Daryl, has been gone. And he's running log trucks and buying his own equipment and logging the Montana and doing really well. So I'm super, super proud of Reno.
All right, going back to the Ice Road, there was a film that was out, and I know that you and Lisa got together to do some filming for Netflix on this Ice Road Trucker movie, but it's not like the real thing, is it?
No, it's not, Mikey. And now, are we being honest here? Are we putting the cards out on the table?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. We're between friends. We can do it.
Yeah, let's call this up. They said they wanted us to promote this movie. They wanted us to help them critique it. What the drivers needed to do. And big fan of Liam Neeson. You know, I was like, oh, sweet, awesome, hell yeah, I'd love to help Liam learn about what he needs to do and what he needs to do in the truck and how you drive the ice roads. That's awesome. Well, even though you could tell him a million things on how to do things on the ice, what you can do and what you can't do, they did the totally opposite in the film. So really, when it comes down to it, was like 10% of ice road safety and rules compared to 90% of pure Hollywood, buddy.
It's got to be done, though, hasn't it?
Oh, it has to be done. And you know what? I still enjoyed the movie. Of course, I'm going to watch it, even though I was like, oh my gosh, you can't do that on the ice. What are you doing? But, you know, and once again, when you're watching the movie, all I'm thinking to myself is that's Liam Neeson. He can do anything, you know what I mean? Type situation. So it was still cool. It was still awesome to see a movie made about the ice roads, and I still enjoyed it. But it was definitely Hollywood, Mikey.
Now back to Truckfest. It's going to be quite an amazing year this year. I mean, we're doing a last ever show in Peterborough, which is for me was my home show. It's the show I used to go to as a kid, and still go to now. This year is the last year, and you've been coming to Peterborough for a long time now, 6, 7, maybe longer. Are you looking forward to it?
Oh, Mikey, are you kidding? I think I already got my bags packed, even though it's still 2 weeks away. I'm ready to go, and out of all the Peterboroughs, I know that every year we promote it. We like everybody to know, hey, we're going. We'll see you guys there. You know, bring your trucks, bring everything. It's going to be a massive show. But I mean, all that aside, this is going to be the biggest and last Truckfest at Peterborough, and it is going to be the biggest show. Peterborough is packed. There is no more place for any trucks. Nothing. I mean, it is jam-packed, to the fullest, and I know that we've never had that before, so that tells you that this show is going to be mind-blowing. I'm telling you.
I already know that truck sales are completely sold out, and they have been since, I think, the end of December, which, yeah, it is incredible. It's going to be a great show. We're going to be there. The monster trucks are going to be there as well. And Tony Dixon that drives Swamp Thing, he's celebrating a special year this year. It's his 20th year in the truck, and he's had this very special livery all made up as well. It's going to be great.
Oh, absolutely. It's just going to be wild. I'm ready. I'm excited, packed. I'm even trying to take an extra day off to work just so I can sleep and get ready for some freaking off the wall adrenaline rush excitement.
It's going to be great. Now, I'm going to turn you on to our guest that we've got at Peterborough, is a guy that's been with us once before, Steve Graham from the Outback Truckers. Now, the Outback Truckers is a little bit, well, this is how I see it. It's a little bit like the Ice Road Truckers, but instead of ice, it's just very hot sand.
Yes, very hot. And you know what? I honestly, and it's funny because I think it just comes down to who you are and where you've been raised and how you do things. I've been raised in the mountains. I live in the ice and the snow. Matter of fact, Mikey, I think tomorrow morning it's supposed to snow here still. We're still getting snow. Winter crazy. Is not letting up. Oh, absolutely. So looking at a storm first thing in the morning into Tuesday still for some more snow yet. So then you get Steve Graham from Australia. We're talking what, like 100 Fahrenheit degree temperatures. Kangaroos jumping across the freaking road in front of you, where I have caribou, deer up in the snow and ice jumping in front of me. I don't think I can handle them hot temperatures and that sand and the way that those guys do that up there. I am not a heat person in any way, shape, or form. You know that for seeing me at Peterborough. It could be raining outside and I'll still be in a t-shirt because I'm hot.
That's it. Now, you spent a bit of time with Steve Graham last time he came to Peterborough, which was a couple of years ago. What can we expect if someone's never met him before or they don't really know what he's about? What can we expect from him?
Oh, Steve Graham is an amazing guy. He is the most well-tempered, easygoing, just likes to hang out, likes to BS. He's a truck enthusiast. He loves trucks. Steve was one of the only guys out of all these years that actually walked around with me in Truckfest because he was interested, not just about being there and being a celebrity, because that's not what it's about. It's about going there and meeting all these truckers, their families, talk to them, go to their camping sites, see all the time and love and energy that they're putting into being at Peterborough and the show and the excitement. And we go around and he went with me and met these families and truckers and took photos and we chatted with them just like a normal everyday dude, just like me and you hanging out and having a pint at the bar or whatever we'd like to do or same type guy. So easygoing. I'm excited for him to lots of other people that I've met to meet Steve Graham this year and see what kind of guy he is because he's amazing.
Now, Truckfest goes on the road. We've got 8 shows across the whole of the year. And this year, we're going back up to Scotland again, to Edinburgh. It's a special show for you, that one, isn't it?
I love Scotland. I don't know what it is about Scotland, but I love going there. And for being such a small place, kind of, But when you show up to the Truck Fest at Scotland, there are so many people there. It is so huge. It is so fantastic. And it's so much fun. The people treat you with so much love and respect. And it's just always been one of my favorite shows. I mean, they're all great. I love all the Truck Fest, Mikey. If I could go to all of them, I'd be at every single one, bugging you every single day about what's next. So, but there's something about Scotland. I just love the atmosphere, and I just love to be there, buddy. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention too, Mikey, and I might need your help with once we get over there is Peterborough is so big this year and so massive and so many people. I actually dug through my walk-in closet in the back, and I found my first ever brand new, I've never worn it, polar jacket with all the cast signatures on it. And wow. I've kept it all this time. And somebody at Peterborough is going to walk home with that thing for free. Somebody. Well, I don't know how we're going to do it yet. I don't know if we'll hang it in the shop, or maybe me and you'll come up with some type of charity thing in the arena to where we could do a charity thing with it. But somebody is going to go home with that jacket. And that's been one of my pride and joy jackets, because it's got everybody's signatures on there and it's brand new. So I'm really excited about someone walking away with that this year. So we'll have to figure that. So think about that since I got you here and you're with me. Think about what we're going to do with that jacket. We'll come up with some good ideas on how we can give that away to some lucky person this year at Peterborough.
Do you know, I am so looking forward to it. It's going to be an amazing show. And if anybody wants to go, they can check out the website. Just go to truckfest.co.uk. There's 8 shows right across the UK, and you're going to be at a few of them. We're looking forward to that as well. And I can't wait to see you in just a little while when we're at Peterborough.
Absolutely, Mikey. I'm so thrilled. I can't wait to see everybody. So if you have not made it to any of the shows at Truckfest, or it's new to you and you want to come check it out, you guys. Peterborough is going to be huge. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be the one to be at. So looking forward to seeing you, Mikey. Looking forward to seeing my Truckfest family. Lots of hugs and love to all you guys over there. Be safe, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, huh?
Todd Dewey, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Mikey. Anytime, buddy. Anything for Mikey.